So by the end of this video, we are going to understand how we can get the shimmer effect in our Flutter application. Okay, so this is a shimmer effect and it will show the actual list after 5 seconds. Okay, so starting off with the video, to make that shimmer effect, first of all, we are going to I have just ran my app and run my Flutter application, and this is a completely new application. Okay, and I'm just gonna remove the boiler code from this file because I don't need it, and I'm gonna make a new directory for storing the screens and enable it as screens. And so I'm gonna make a new screen as a dot file that is named as login screen, list screen, and I'm gonna use list screen to show the data or show the screen of my app. Okay, so I'm gonna need a stateful widget over here, and I'm gonna name it as list screen, and let's import the material package for this class, because the stateful widget is in the material package, and I'm gonna use. Okay, so let me just import it, and yeah, it's imported. So to use the shimmer effect, I'm gonna go to the pub.dev and just copy that shimmer 2.0.0. okay, and copy it and paste it in the pub/spec.yaml, and I've just did it, and press the pub get to get the dependencies in your app. Okay, I've just already did it, and so I'm not gonna do this again, and I've just ran this app after doing this. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is that we're gonna need we first of all, let me just make that screen as list screen. I'm just gonna copy this over here, and import this over here, and the screen that I just made. Okay, and when I've done importing, okay, so it's done, and what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make a new widget. Okay, so the widget will return something like the list view. Okay, and I'm gonna make it like a chat application, or just like the WhatsApp, like how it shows all the chats and all that. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make a new widget and name it as the list widget. Okay, so I'm gonna make it as load screen or load tiles, or whatever I can do. Okay, so I just name it as load list, and I'm gonna use list view.builder. Okay, so I'm gonna use the list view.builder, and it's a bit easy and good way of making a list. Okay, so I'm gonna give it an item count, and let's say it's 10. Okay, and I'm gonna give the context and index to the item builder. And the next thing I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna return. I need to return something from the list view.builder, and what I'm gonna return is that I'm gonna return list tile. Okay, so I will just return the list tile, and what it's gonna do is that it will contain in the leading, it will contain a circular avatar to contain the images of people. Okay, just like in chat applications. And the next thing I'm gonna do is that, first of all, let me just give it icons dot home, let's say. Okay, so I just made a mistake. Okay, so I just okay, it's given an error. It will be icons.home. Okay, so I'll just give it as icons.home, and the next thing I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna use the title, and I'm gonna give the title over here, and the next thing in the title, I will show it that it should show the name of this person and whatsoever. So I'm just gonna do that title for that, and okay, so yeah, I just made it in the circular avatar. Let's just leave it. So I'm gonna go to the title and give the title. Okay, so I'll just say hello there, and I'm gonna use the, okay, yeah, it needs a text widget, so I'm gonna just wrap it in a text, and I'm gonna use the index to show it in a better way that it's, loading a bit different thing. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is show a subtitle, and I'm just gonna use a text widget to show some data. Okay, so I'm just, wrap it with some data. I'm just going to show that some data is showing. Okay, so okay, I'm just gonna call my load list in the scaffold. I will just put it in the body of the scaffold and just run my app. Okay, and wait for it to load it, and okay, so it's showing. Okay, so it's just like a chat application. In chat applications, how we see the data. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that first of all, I just, increase the item count, and it will look a bit better in that way. And let's just wait. Okay, so yeah, it's done. So what I'm gonna do next is that I want to show some widget. Okay, I want to use a skeleton just like my application. So I'm gonna use a shimmer as I've already showed you, and I'm gonna make a new widget named as skeleton. Okay, and what will it contain is that it will contain the same skeleton of my list that I've already showed. Okay, so it will just be skeleton of that particular design that I will be showing in my list. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, or I can say that particular design I'll be showing in my app. So I just made a shimmer skeleton widget. It will return a widget, and I'm going to return a shimmer.from colors, and the child, where it needs a child, a base color, and a highlight color. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is that, I'll just put the child in the end, and I'll give the child in the end, and the base color will be the colors dot let's say colors dot white. Okay, and the highlight color will be the colors dot gray. Okay, so it will be the highlighted color that will be showing in our app. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is that I will have to give it a child. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a child right here, and in the child I will give it a list view dot builder, and I'm just gonna copy it from my previous function, and the previous function that I just wrote in the load list. In the load list method, I use the list view dot builder, and I'm gonna use that code again. Okay, so let me just copy that code from that method. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy that code and paste it in my second method. Okay, so it is giving the item count and the item builder. Okay, and I'm gonna return a list view in this item builder. Okay, oh sorry, I need a list style over here. I want to return a list style just like I did in the previous function. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna use a list style, and in the list style, in the leading, I just want a circular avatar that will be showing that there is some image of a person or something like this. So to indicate that, you're gonna need a circular avatar, and for now I just want to use a background color for the hair. Okay, so just like in our actual list. Okay, so I'm gonna need is, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna use a background color, and I'm gonna give it the background color as colors dot gray. Okay, So as of now I have done this thing, and in the next thing I want the title, and I'm going to use a container to, because it will be showing that there will be some data coming over here. Okay, so the height will be 15, let's say 15, and the width will be let's say I will just give it as 25, or I'll just give it at 25. Okay, so I'm gonna need the color of the container to be gray, and to do that I'm gonna use decoration, the box decoration, and I'm gonna give the colors dot gray. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same thing in the subtitles. Okay, and as I was showing that there was some data, I'm gonna use the same thing in the subtitle, and I'm just gonna copy it from the title and paste it over here. I'm gonna remove the comma, and yeah, I just want to have to change the width of the data because the data might be bigger in length or whatever. So yeah, it's done. So the next thing I'm gonna do is that I want to call this function first of all. Okay, so first of all, when my screen actually loads, I want to call this function, because in the operations from the database or the server, they are asynchronous. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna show the Shimmer skeleton. Okay, so actually the skeleton will be showing, and after the time has passed, I'm gonna call the load list function. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make a variable over here, okay, as widget. It can be null in the start. Okay, so yeah, it will give me some error, and I can just override that. So I'm gonna make it I'm gonna rename my function as make widget. Okay, so I'm gonna rename my variable as the make widget, and I'm gonna use it over in my body. Okay, so I'm gonna make a function that will change the Shimmer skeleton to load list. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna make a future function. Okay, so it will be based on future, and after 5 seconds I'm gonna change it. Okay, and I'm just gonna call it that change widget. Okay, so I'm just gonna call it make this widget, and I'm just gonna open it. And the next thing I'm gonna do is that I want to call, first of all, when actually this function starts, what I want to do is that I want to assign the Shimmer skeleton to the make widget. Okay, so in the initial stages the make widget will contain the Shimmer skeleton. Okay, so when my app basically starts. Okay, and after that what I want to do is that after 5 seconds I want to change that make widget. I want to update that make widget with load list. Okay, so I'm gonna use a future over here, and I'm gonna use future dot delayed, and I'm gonna use a duration of 5 seconds for this, and I'm gonna call duration seconds dot 5, and what I want to do is that when the 5 seconds are over, I want to run something. Okay, I want to do something. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait a second, let me just sort it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get the value. Okay, where I'm waiting for the value, and when the value is finished, okay, so when the 5 seconds are over, I want to call the set state method, and I want to change the make widget, and assign that assign load list to make widget. Okay, so what will it do is that it will assign the make widget the load list, and yeah, I'll just do that at a constant. Okay, and as it is a stateful widget, so I can use the set state method, and yeah, just make that future return null. Okay, and it will return null. So yeah, it's done. So I'm gonna call this in function change widget. No, I will have to call this in the init method. Okay, so I'm gonna call it in the init method, and I'm in the body I'm going to assign the make widget variable, and the variable will contain the widget that I want to show. Okay, so in the init state I'm gonna call the change widget, and Yeah, it's working. So when I will restart my app, the init state method will work. Okay, the init state method will run. Yeah, if I did a hot reload, it won't. Okay, so I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna restart my Flutter app, and let's see. Let's wait for the results. Okay, so it is showing, and after 5 seconds, yeah, the data is showing. So this is all for now, and let's just make it in the mobile screen shape as the